to my channel. It's me, Jenisha Stanley again. And today, I'm going to review the book, Mr. Corbett Is in Orbit. This book was written by Dan Gutman and illustrated by Jim Paley. This book has 88 pages and 9 chapters. This book is a comic book that is extremely silly. You will not be able to control your laughter. I wasn't at all, so maybe I guess you can't control your laughter with reading this book. AJ is a school student in Mr. Cooper's class. The day always starts like normal, where Mr. Cooper is always dressed up like a superhero. He trips over the trash can and falls onto the ground. They always say the Pledge of Allegiance, they do circle time, they did the word of the day, until they had to go to the all-purpose room just before Mr. Cooper could start teaching them math. They went in a line into the all-purpose room. All the girls said yay, and most of the boys said no whenever their principal told them they were going to a secret field trip. They went into a bus until Mrs. Hormel, or their bus driver, said bingle boo, which means hello in her secret language. That whenever everyone was still loud, she said be quiet, or zingy zip in her secret language, until the principal was still standing nearby and ouch, the stop sign hit her on the head just as they were about to go, until they went to NASA, or where they're gonna go. Until everyone looked at the sign and said, "What does that stand for?" Things NASA could stand for, AJ thought. Not another silly art. Mr. Corbett, or their tour guide, shows up. Whenever he asked everyone to follow him, they went around until Mr. Corbett showed them this is the largest rocket in the world, NASA Space Launch System, or SLS. All he said was blah, 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 blah. So, Mr. Corbett took everyone into the spaceship whenever AJ and Mr. Corbett were just standing next to each other until both of them heard a large rumbling noise filling up the ship. Rumble! It started rumbling up everything until Mr. Corbett said, "Hey, what's that rumbling sound? That's my stomach. I'm starving," AJ said. And then he said, "Hey, maybe NASA delivers. Over here, there are 2 buttons. The launch button and the lunch button." But instead of pressing the lunch button, AJ pressed the launch button. "AJ, don't," Andrea said, leaping over to stop him. "No!" Until rumble. "Hey, what's that rumbling sound?" AJ asked. "You turned on the engines!" Mr. Corbett replied. "You pushed the wrong button, dumbhead!" "Oops. I didn't mean to. We have liftoff," the speakers on the rocket ship said. Everyone started hollering and hooting and freaking out! So, after the rocket took off, Andrea, another student in the class, and AJ, since both of them were not friends, both of them started arguing with each other. By the time the argument was over, they were in space. And anyway, the tour guide had fainted because he was afraid of heights. The kids were on their own by then, and they had to find a way to steer it until they all started floating in the air, until Andrea's friend Emily shouted, "Look, Mr. Corbett is in orbit!" because they all resembled the solar system. Since everybody was floating in a circle around Mr. Corbett, he was like the sun, but still he wasn't woken up, and everyone else was a tiny little planet. So, after Mr. Corbett woke up, they encountered an alien spaceship until they saw which it could shoot it out of the sky until Mr. Corbett fainted again. He was useless then. He started floating around the spaceship while still fainted until the kids had to come up with a plan to find out if the alien was going to shoot it out of the sky or keep them safe without doing anything to them, until the door finally opened of the spaceship until somebody's nose poked out. But they didn't see who it actually was until there were so many decisions. A space octopus, a Girl Scout selling cookies, Buzz Aldrin, Abraham Lincoln, a partridge in a pear tree, 2 space octopi? No, it wasn't any of those. It was Mr. Granite, their old teacher. He comes from planet Etenar, which is granite spelled backwards, until they started hugging him and said that they all missed him. And then he told Mr. Corbett after he woke up again that he was coming to return the key to the teacher's lounge. He might have accidentally taken it when he left the school. But there was another reason. Their scientists were studying Earth's climate change problem until they set out a giant beach umbrella floating outside in outer space, blocking a portion of the sun's rays, and it could be the solution to the climate change problem. So Mr. Granite left the space vessel, and then they were about to re-enter Earth's atmosphere. Then Mr. Corbett fainted right on the way then. But then AJ shouted, "What are we gonna do now?" Andrea said to AJ, "We're gonna have to land it by ourselves," until AJ made it turn left until a cotton candy factory smashed. They made it get smashed into the cotton candy factory. It smashed right in, created a giant hole, and loads of cotton candy splashed out of it. So the kids went back eating cotton candy, they went to school, and then finally went home. So this book was really hilarious, except that it talks about one major point in Earth's history, which is occurring right now: climate change. That's really a big problem, as Earth is already warming up more and more. The book says to put a giant beach umbrella in front of Earth and the sun. But that's ridiculous. How would we be able to do that? Because anyway, we're so tiny and Earth is humongous. How would we be able to do that? But still, we need to find other ways to stop climate change for good. So everyone, go and read this book to read a silly story which will make you laugh out loud. Friends, thanks for watching my videos. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel to stay tuned in on my new videos. I'll fly over to my next video. See you there.